What's up, guys? I wanted to go ahead and start with my first video on a new series I'm going to start working on. Basically, it's going to be me messing around with some miniature photography. As I said, getting back into photography, and I have a few items that I wanted to go over, do some learning experiences, maybe share what I've learned so far, and you know, like I said, let's go ahead and get right into it. So what I'm going to be working with tonight is I'm going to show you guys kind of what the setup of my room looks like. I'll probably try to throw a couple pictures down here, or maybe do even a jump cut to part of the room in the video. Who knows? I'm not sure if I'm that talented with the video editing software yet, but we're going to find out. And yeah, so as I said, a few things. I use a couple programs that are actually relatively cheap in the grand scheme of things. I don't use Photoshop. I don't use Lightbox. I actually got a great deal through Humble Bundle, where I picked up Aftershot and PaintShop Pro. And to be honest with you, I think I paid maybe $25 for the whole shebang, and it has been phenomenal. The only reason I bring this up is because I know that Humble Bundle has had that bundle on more than one occasion. I think I got it maybe on the second or third time that they sent it. So, you know, just keep your eyes out. Anyway, let's get right into it. The subject for tonight is one of the Necron Overlords. It's not completely painted, but it's painted enough that I thought we would get enough out of it. So let's go ahead and hop right over into Corel Aftershot. So I want to bring up a couple things about Corel Aftershot. First of all, basically this is just your Lightbox clone, for lack of a better word. It's going to allow you to set highlights, set your levels before you actually go in and do any digital editing. So as you can see with the subject, there is some natural daylight. This was done early evening. I have a nice window that's right above there that you can get a lot of good daylight coming from. Sometimes it has a little bit of a yellow tint because it is later in the evening. That being said, there are also some key light features on here which we can talk about briefly. Basically, the camera as it's set up would be right here, and you have a light behind the camera and then another one coming down. So when you look at it on the video here, you would basically have a light coming from this direction, basically here to here, and then another one coming from up here down. Now, this is the subject with the key lighting. This one is the subject with just natural daylight, and you can see kind of you're missing out on a lot of the details. There's a lot of heavy shadowing here. That's basically the reason that we're going to use that we want to use the key lights. You get to, you get a lot more definition here. You still keep some of the shadow work, but overall it gives you a much clearer picture of how this is supposed to look. Again, this guy is not fully painted, but painted enough for our tutorial here. So, what do we do in Corel Aftershot? This is just going to be a quick auto level, and we're going to clear up the image. I personally think that washes it out way too much. There's already a lot of exposure based on the amount of light that I was using in the picture, so we probably won't do that. Yeah, no. We're just going to go ahead and auto level it out here. Again, you can mess with the contrast a little bit more if you so desire. You know, go up and down, do in and out of vibrance. This will give you more of a yellow, give you kind of that sepia tone if that's what you're going for, or, you know, gray it out completely. You still get some of this green yellow, which if you guys are interested in how I did the base, let me know and I can give you a tutorial on how to do that. That was actually a really cool project. That being said, let's just go ahead and go back with some of these changes. There we go. Again, kind of where I want it to be. I mean, not a big deal. But yeah, again, you can use Aftershot to get kind of really nitty gritty. To be honest with you, I think based on how Aftershot actually works, you can do a lot of, you see how you have a lot of extra crap in this photo. I didn't do a great job of cleaning up the black background. There's a lot of fuzz on there. You can actually do a lot with Lightbox as far as getting rid of this stuff, but for this tutorial I'm going to end up like cropping all that out anyway, so I really don't care. So once we have that, you can see that I already have my PaintShop Pro open, so hit Control E here and we're going to go right over to PaintShop Pro, and boom, the photo gets pulled over, and hell, we're already in crop mode, so that works out great. Neato. So we'll go ahead and we can bring this down. I'll go ahead and I'm going to keep that in there. All right, so what do we want to do with this photo? A couple things about PaintShop Pro. Even though it is called PaintShop, it focuses heavily on photo manipulation. Over here you can see the list of instant effects, which we'll play around with a couple of them. We could do, let's go just a portrait, even though this really isn't a portrait. It gives you all of like the Instagram hipster stuff, you know, if you want to go that route, if you want to, you know, throw a vignette on it or something like that. Not really my bag, but you know, if that's kind of what you're looking for. Me personally, I think the Smart Photo Fix 1 and 2 actually do a really good job. So like if we just throw in Smart Photo Fix 1, well, in this case that makes it way too bright. Let's check out 2. Yeah, also too bright in this case. So let's maybe go over to landscape, which I know this isn't a landscape, but I found that the photo fixing on landscape is not quite as drastic. So, I'll show you, go back and I'll show you the difference here. I mean, it's giving it a little bit of a contrast bump, not quite as much as, well, clearly not as much as the portrait view, and not quite as much as Aftershot did, but a little bit. You know what? I don't think I mind that too much. Overall, I'm kind of pleased with that. That being said, I don't want to stop just there. What we're gonna do is we're gonna do a couple quick adjustments. One, we're gonna go under white balance. So what this is gonna allow me to do is it's gonna allow me to kind of mess with the lighting color itself. You can see this bar here for temperature. We can make it really yellow, like a warm incandescent light, or we can, you know, make it super blue, like you know, like it's got like a blue filter on it. Me personally, again, this comes down to personal preference. I prefer more of a daylight look, so in my mind, I always bump it down just a little bit. So I don't want to even say 4,000. I'm going to take it to 4,250. That might be too much. What about, how about a 4,500? That's not bad. I think we can probably go a little bit more. Let's do 4,650. And again, play around with these numbers, you know, do what you want to do. It's no big deal. Again, this is your photography. You're the artist here. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. I think in this realm, this 4650, this actually makes that silver pop, and it gives it a really metallic look. If you were to take a look at the figure itself, you would notice that there is like a layer of dry brushing. Actually, let me flip over to Aftershot and grab another one of these photos. You can see like this flecking here. That's actually a makeup brush with Necron compound on it, kind of flicked over the ridges to give it that metallic look. Again, there's a lot of black underneath here normally. You can kind of see underneath here, there's more of like a silver and gray kind of on the inside, whereas the metallic kind of shows on the outside. Again, I'm not 100% sure. I haven't been doing this long enough. I'm not 100% sure how to get that level of detail that we can pick up the black. Also, again, this model's not done, and we still have to wash it. We still have to put the details. There's going to be green, white. I may end up going in and repainting some of the black. Like you can see this articulator here. This probably would have like a nice black on the inside. So when you're looking at his arm, it would be like a piece of metal along here, and then the articulating point right here would actually have that black and then silver. So I'll probably go back and redo that there. All right, that being said, let's go back to our PaintShop Pro. Again, now that I'm looking at it, the original, I think this we might have gone too far on here. So let's even take it back to like 4,800. That's not bad. That's got a good. I think that's a good representation of how it really looks versus how the camera picked it up. Again, how the camera picked it up versus, like I said, this is my eye when I'm looking at it in real life, in the reels. this is how I perceive it. So we'll go ahead and okay there. And then if we want to do any other effects, again, this is stuff that you can play around with. I don't typically go for a lot of the, you know, the blur effects, but for the hell of it, let's go ahead and put something on it. We're gonna go back to the background here. Select all, Control C. Now what I do to get like a basic, you know, kind of a background blur, if I want to go that direction, is I will take the two images, kind of put them over top of each other, and then on my top image, I grab my eraser here. There's a million ways to do this, by the way. I'm going to get a pretty decent eraser size here. Let's actually go up to size 200. And I'm going to start kind of killing the outside here, right? Now, you'll note, can't talk. You'll notice that nothing really seems to be happening with the image. That's because all we're actually doing here is getting rid of the top, which reveals the bottom layer, which is a duplicate. So if we hide this, that's what we end up getting with, or that's what we end up getting. Now, what we can do here is we can go back to this background layer, and we can adjust and blur just the background, and we're gonna blur it even more. And can we go ahead and blur more? I know that there's we could do a Gaussian blur. All right, radius, let's do a 5. Okay, cool. Now, what that allows us to do, like if I hide this, you'll see, yeah, the background is totally blurred out. But this gives us kind of, it's called bokeh. If you've ever shot like a portrait on an actual camera, or on, like, put your iPhone into portrait mode, you get that blur in the back. That's called bokeh, and that's effectively what we've done here. I mean, it's a cheap trick, but in this case, I think it works out well for us. You could go in and kind of get the background like in here, but I think the fact that we used a pretty decent just black cloth background makes that largely unnecessary. Again, here's, let's see, that's all the black that's actually left. So, you know, again, if you want to clean it up a little bit, oops, edit, undo. Make sure you're on the right layer. If you want to clean it up a little bit more, you know, more power to you, nothing's stopping you. But again, I don't think it's really necessary. So, you'll also notice the cool thing about that is it got rid of some of that, you know, black flecking in the background. So now we just have our guy. He's looking good. I think overall this is ready for, you know, you could probably put it up on a website or something along those lines. Again, keep in mind, this is a beginner tutorial because I'm a beginner at all of this. I've never had a photography class, haven't done anything like this before. I just know a little bit about lighting, and I know a little bit about video because my original college degree was electronic media. So, hey, go figure. With that being said, I think that's going to go ahead and complete our video tonight. If you have any questions, by all means, please shoot me a message or put, you know, something in the comments, and we can talk about what I did here. You know, things I probably screwed up. Anything that you want me to go back and kind of re-explain, because as I said, I'm a beginner at this. I'm sure you guys are probably beginners at this too. We're going on this journey together. Fun, quick story. I had a college professor who, the way that he taught, he said, you know, we're going on this journey together. I actually don't know this. And at the time, man, I was really pissed off about that. I mean, I was pissed off because it was like an HTML course, and, you know, I could teach my dog HTML. Doesn't really matter. The point is, going on a journey together with somebody, you're going to end up finding out stuff that, you know, you never would have thought of before, and that kind of stuff is awesome. So I might be doing something completely wrong. You might have a better way of doing background blurs. Please shoot me a message on that. I'm happy to do another way. Like I said, this was the quick and dirty way. I know of a couple other ones off the bat that if you want to talk about those as well, or, you know, like you said, oh man, you're doing that completely wrong. I got a way that, you know, will save you a ton of time and just looks infinitely better. Man, totally tell me. I'm always down to learn about that kind of stuff. But that being said, I hope you guys have a great rest of the evening or day whenever you're watching this. And I had fun, and I hope you did too. So we will talk to you later. Deuces.